Okay, everyone, get your green Bibles out. We're about to learn something. All right, in the green Bible today, we're going to be going over part 395, which is hours of service of drivers. We'll cover 70-hour, 14-hour, and 11-hour regulations. We'll also be discussing breaks, as in, 10-hour breaks at night, 30-minute breaks during the day, and your restart, which will restart your 70-hour clock. As you can see here, I have 6 hours, 51 minutes, and 9 seconds left on my 70-hour clock for the week. Now, I am currently doing a 34-hour restart. I'll explain all of that later on. I have 8 hours and 37 minutes left on my 14-hour, 6 hours, 57 minutes, and 32 seconds left on my 11-hour, and I have 8 hours until I have to take a 30-minute break, which we'll go over. Tomorrow, as you can see here, I gained back 0 hours, but in 2 days I gained back 7 hours, 26 minutes, 4 seconds. You can see over here my recap for the week. Now, to give you a rundown of how hours of service works, you have a 70-hour work week. Every day you can drive 11 hours. I don't recommend driving 11 hours a day because you'll eat up that 70-hour clock quick. Now, during that 11 hours, you have to take a 30-minute break after 8 hours. Now, you can do it early. I usually do it after about 4 hours. That way, I don't have to take another 30-minute break before I have to shut down for the day. Now, that 11 hours, you have to do it within 14 hours. Otherwise, you can't drive your full hours. Now, this computer here that we have, that's our tablet, keeps a running tally of how many hours you've run every day. Okay? Now you can see here my 14 hours still running down because it will expire. Now, it also gives me what I recap tomorrow and what I'll recap the next day for quick reference. As you can see up here, it gives me the current time of day in the time zone I'm in. I'm currently in the Eastern time zone. But it goes, I still have to log Central time zone since I'm based out of Texas. It also gives me up there. Now, normally that at the beginning of my shift, that'll say 30-minute break. Please excuse the beeping. The truck's telling me it wants to shut down, idle shutdown. I'm going to let it run because I want air conditioning. But anyway, it also gives me my current duty status, which is currently off duty, which I'll change to sleeper berth here in a few minutes. It will tell now that's that where it says 70-hour DOT. After I take my 30-minute break, it'll tell me 11 hours. And how much time I have on my 11-hour driving time. Now, if I am on duty for a certain amount of time, that still counts against my 14, but not my 11. However, if I run it down so far, it'll change from 30-minute DOT or 11-hour DOT to 14-hour DOT, and that's how much time I have left in my 14-hour shift. Now, as you can see here where it says 70-hour DOT, I only have 6 hours and 52 minutes, or 6 hours, 51 minutes, and 9 seconds. But it's counting as 52 minutes instead of 51 and 9 seconds. Now, the way a 10-hour restart works, at the end of your shift, you have to take 10 hours off. The 10 hours off will reset your 14-hour clock. This all can be found in the Green Bible, what we've nicknamed the Green Bible, in CFR section 395.1. The way you reset your 70-hour clock is you have to stay off duty or a combination of off-duty sleeper berth for 34 hours straight. At that point, you will get back your full 70 hours for the week. Again, that means you'll be able to work for 70 hours. That includes 11 hours a day within a 14-hour time period driving, as well as including work. Now, you also have on-duty not driving. Now, you are allowed to perform work after your 11 hours of driving time and your 14 hours of on-duty time, but you're not allowed to drive after your 14 hours or your 11 hours until you have completed 10 consecutive hours either off-duty, in the sleeper, or a combination of the two. With e-logs, it's very easy to keep track of because, as you saw on my screen, the computer keeps track of it all. Now, if you're running paper logbooks, you have to do this all yourself. Now, whatever you do, if you're on paper logs, do not cheat on your logs. It's very easy to do, but if you get caught, that is a massive fine. And if you're found to do it repeatedly, you could face jail time for that. Heaven help you if you cause an accident or are even involved in an accident or even get a ticket while you cheat your logbooks and they find out. So the gist of it is, be honest if you're on paper logbooks, because if you're not, eventually it will catch up to you. Now, we're not going to go into the regulations on electronic logs and paper logs, who can and can't run them. That's all contained in here. You can find it in here, as well as a ton of other information. This is a fairly thick book, but you'll find everything from drug testing regulations, load securement, pre-trip inspections, post-trip inspections, anything you want to know about the trucking industry is in here. What I'm trying to do with these videos is try and simplify it a little bit for you. Another thing you'll find in this book is you'll find exemptions, and there's a ton of them. But for the purposes of this video and other videos I make, we're going to stick with just cross-country or over-the-road OTR driving. I say there are a lot of exemptions and exceptions. I mean, there's exceptions listed in this book for oil field, for passenger carrying vehicles, for ready-mix concrete, which I used to do. I mean, it's so much more. Carrying bees. There's regulations for carrying bees. Seriously, it's in here. I saw it. I've read it. There's a lot of exemptions and exceptions. Don't try and understand them all. Only read what applies to you. You'll have one heck of a time trying to keep it all together, keep it all straight. If you're trying to remember all the exemptions and exceptions, you're going to forget what you're actually doing. Just apply the part that applies to you in whatever industry you're in. I am OTR. I worry about OTR regulations. I'm not carrying bees. Bee exemptions and exceptions don't concern me. I'm not doing ready mix anymore. I'm not worried about hours regulations for ready mix drivers. I'm not worried about, exemptions for staying within so many miles of your home terminal. Not worried about all that. I go 48 state. So worry about what applies to you and don't worry about other stuff. Now, I've actually had dispatchers, even on e-logs, that will try and convince me to run illegal, saying they would fix it in the computer later on. If you work for a company that does this, find another company because they are running outlaw. Remember, it's your CDL, not theirs. You understand? Your license is your livelihood. If you lose it, you have to find something else to do. Personally, I've been doing this long enough that I really don't want to find anything else to do unless I can start my own business, which I am working on to an extent, but it's just slow getting going. But for now, my license, my CDL, is my livelihood. I will not risk it just to get a load on time. If I got to be late on a load just to keep hours of service regulations, then that load's going to be late. It happens. It happens all the time. Now, don't make a habit of that, but it does happen, and it does happen a lot. I haven't covered every single thing you're going to come across. I mean, there's also stuff in here about adverse weather conditions and other things like that. You know, go over this book. You can find it at any truck stop. It's updated monthly. This is an older copy, but it will list what's been changed in the front of the book. Go get you one. They don't change that much unless there's a major change of hours. Like you used to be able to sleep 8 hours and drive for 10. Now you are off 10 hours and drive for 11. Things like that. They don't. Those kind of changes don't come very often. But get you a copy of this book. If your company hasn't given you one, they should have. Or if you've lost it or something, you can find it at any truck stop. They're not expensive. And while you're at it, go ahead and pick up your hazmat books. I'm not trying to block the camera, but yeah, go ahead and pick up your hazardous material book. If you never haul hazardous materials, it's still good to know what's in here and how to read it. And I'll go over this in another video, as well as this other book that I have. I'm not sure the difference between the book I just showed you and this book. Okay, we'll go over this book and that book in another video, but for now, let's just concentrate on this one. Okay, get this book. This covers the very basics and most of what you'll need to know. About 99% of what you need to know as a driver, the basics of what you need to know as a driver, is covered in here. There's a lot of stuff in here that doesn't concern you, that may not concern you, that your company needs to worry about, but it's still good to know what's in here and where to find it. So, I hope this video helps you in your journey to become a professional driver. If you like what you see, drop me a like, comment if you like. If you have questions, comment down below. If you want to see more of this, please subscribe. In the future, I'll be doing more videos on different topics besides truck driving. In fact, I'm going on home time soon, and there's a couple projects I'm going to be working on for you. I'm also going to be doing a gaming video here soon. I play a game called World of Warcraft. If you saw my review on the microphone and earphones, then you know I play that game. I've been playing it since 2007. So stay tuned for that and other projects, because this is a channel about my life. Right now, my life primarily revolves around driving. So a lot of my videos are going to be about driving. So if you have any ideas, any video suggestions, let me know in the comments. If you know anybody that might enjoy this channel, share the channel with them. So, as always, until next time, God bless and be good.